minor is major, by Rebecca Langston.
When Ursa's baby cubs were born in the woods, the loving brown mama bear did all she could to cuddle them tight and to raise them right, to feed them and teach them each day, and to love them in every way. Each of her 5 cubs grew to be fuzzy and furry, strong and long, except the wee one, which made her worry.
I'm sure in time he will grow, even if it is a bit slow.
As to make it fair for each little bear, she sang them a song so they'd get along.
Just choose to change your stars, you will surely go far, no matter who you are.
Bo, Joe, Mo, Chub, and Stub were the names of the cubs. Stub was the small one, you could tell, yet he still did just as well, though he had to try harder than all the others to be as fast and quick as his bigger brothers. He was precocious, the least ferocious little bear in the lair. Each day, Mama Bear taught her cubs how to thrive, by fetching honey from the busy beehives. She taught them to fish and to go on a hunt, and Stub learned fastest, though he was the runt. When the rest would sleep, little Stub would keep fishing and hunting, never bored, until he could take it no more. Mama said when the spring and summer come, they best learn to prepare and gather some.
The falls are sure lean and the winter's mean, which is why we hibernate until spring. Now get on out there, each one do your chore. We need fat to store before our winter snore.
Bo, Joe, Mo, and Chub all giggled. Little Stub was scared and wiggled. Mama wanted Bo, Joe, Mo, and Chub to behave, and for Stub, her littlest brown cub, to feel brave. So she said the words that before they'd heard.
Just choose to change your stars, you will surely go far, no matter who you are.
So Mama Bear trustingly left them to it. But Bo, Joe, Mo, and Chub didn't want to do it, even though the bears were told that before the winter cold there was real work to be done. The bears just looked to have fun. So off they went, happy to run and play, leaving Stub alone to work the long day. Stub knew with 6 mouths to feed, loads of food Mama would need. Stub came upon Bo, who was using a tree to scratch his back, and asked him to help him fetch the honey by holding the sack. Bo didn't pay any mind to little Stub, thinking him but a pesky and puny cub. He gathered himself up and left Stub behind, and Stub, the cub so kind, didn't even mind. And so alone he climbed up many a tree to fetch the most delicious golden honey. When he finished there, he happily carried on, doing what Mama asked of her beloved spawn. The river were Joe and Mo, splashing and dashing to and fro. They were having a blast playing with one another, paying zero attention to their smaller brother.
Hey, you guys!
Stub called out.
Want to help Cat from Chow? We could make it fun and turn it into a game.
Nah,
Said Joe and Mo casually.
thanks all the same.
So little Stub swam and caught many fish, making sure to catch enough to put on each dish. When enough delicious and fresh fish were caught, Stub headed home with the full bags he had wrought. Chub had finally gone out with the intention to hunt. He did so without a moan, a groan, or even a grunt. But Stub soon found Chub in a bush fast asleep. He tiptoed around him, not making a peep. He didn't want to bother him, asking Chub to wake. He knew his brother would rather dream with honey cake. As Stub hunted, he made furrows, chasing rabbits from their burrows. Mama taught Stub to respect the animals and the land's laws, which made him gentle in spirit and highly skilled with his paws. He grew so strong and long, choosing right over wrong, whistling, singing along his mama's favorite song.
Just choose to change your stars. You will surely go far, no matter who you are.
He didn't even care that his brothers weren't there. Joyful and happy was he, working for his family. Stub finished his work before the sun set, lugging all of the food that he did get. They sat to eat the dinner that Mama and Stub provided. It was abundant, delicious, and equally divided. Before bed, Mama said, she had something to tell, and they should listen well.
Each year I fear the men come near this lush and bountiful forest where we stay. The animals are being driven away. We have to adapt, try not to get trapped, and move our lives in precious lair before the cold change in the air. We know the forest to the east is being ravaged by the beast, so I think it best to move to the west.
But Mama,
Stub began to say.
The trees are much bigger that way.
True, my young cub. There the honey we will not be able to reach. We'll have to do things differently and learn new things I did not teach.
The next morning they bravely packed up all their stuff and moved west even though their journey could be rough. After hours of walking they found a good spot for their den, sweeping and digging and cleaning to make it like home again. When they were done helping to make their home, they each asked if they could go out to roam. Stub went along with his brothers to get a closer look, to check out their new forest, every cranny, every nook. The tops of these trees soared way into the clouds, redwoods so gorgeous, standing tall, swaying proud. Their majestic trunks were so wide even an elephant could hide. Such a deep maroon was its bark, made it hard to see in the dark. Stretching and straining their necks to see as far as they could up the huge trees. Bo was in total and utter disbelief while Joe's eyes and neck tried to get some relief. Mo was jovial and playing with the bee, while Chub started climbing a giant tree. Stub watched with great interest as Chub climbed up the moist, dark bark, higher and higher to the sweet sounds of a meadowlark. Up and down and around Chub the bees would dive, which meant Chub knew he was closer to the hive. The more he climbed up that tall tree, the more tired he got. The air was thinner, and he couldn't think a whole lot. His brothers' voices started to sound distant. When he looked down, he got scared in an instant.
Oh my goodness, I didn't think I could. But I've climbed too high and don't feel so good.
The world then started spinning as Chub felt unsteady. This tree was too tall, and his body wasn't ready. Stub bolted up the tree as Chub started to yelp. He had to act fast if he was going to help. Bo said,
Look how high up Chub and those bees are. How will he reach it? It's too high and too far.
Chub's claws frantically dug into the tree's side. He couldn't hold his grip and started to slide. Chub knew he had to climb faster than he ever had to reach Chub before the situation turned real bad. Stub could feel the danger building as Chub whined and winced. With each of Chub's shrill cries, Stub was more and more convinced. A sharp pain on his shoulder Stub had just felt as big chunks of bark suddenly began to pelt. Chub's paws then slipped, losing his grip. He came hurtling down that tree trunk, stopping on Stub's head with a thump. Together they climbed down to where the others were at, Stub helping Chub down until they reached the ground and sat. The brothers all hugged and praised Chub for being so brave, but forgot to thank Stub for the life he had just saved. When they got home, they told Mama what they did. She noticed that poor Stub was holding his head.
Are you not feeling so well, son?
Mama asked sadly.
I'm okay, Mama,
Said Stub.
just my head hurts badly.
She sent him to bed and to rest the following day. His brothers would do his daily chores so he could stay. It was then that Stub did relax and rest. His mama let him sleep snuggled to her chest. Well, Bo thought he'd give it a try, to fetch honey, but it was too high. He figured he would go help Joe and Mo at the river with no fish yet to show. The river was not at all like where they once used to live. It was warmer and calmer with plenty of fish to give. These waters were strong, not at all calm and mild, much bolder and colder and totally wild. Each time they went in, strong white waters began to roll. All the fumbling and tumbling started to take its toll. The water and fish proved too fast for Bo, Joe, and Mo. Just how strong a bear had to be, this they didn't know. They had always had honey and fish aplenty. Why now were they not able to retrieve any? Giving up, the three went to help Chub on the hunt. They found him hiding stealthily behind a stump.
Have you caught anything yet?
A rabbit? A beaver?
Nah,
Chub said.
that squirrel's too fast, so I had to leave her.
They all started for home without food in their bags, their heads hanging low and their feet starting to drag. Mama had been waiting to prepare the food. She could see something peculiar in their mood.
Tell me, how was your day, little cubs of mine? I see your bags are empty. How will we dine?
They couldn't find the words and knew it wasn't right. They wouldn't be enjoying a bounty that night. They felt real bad because they had failed their mother, and worse still because that included their brother. They all went to bed without dinner or dessert. Their stomachs were empty and their little hearts hurt. As the sun appeared, Stub woke his brothers four. He felt great, ready to help with all the chores.
Let's fetch the honey, you guys.
He said with delight, prompting the other brothers to tremble with fright.
Oh, don't worry, guys. I can do it.
He proclaimed.
I'll just sing my song and know these trees can be tamed.
Stubb flew up the tree with agile skill and speed. He came down with bees, hive, and honey indeed. His brothers couldn't believe what they were seeing, how strong and brave their little Stubby was being. Bo carried the bag with the bees abuzz inside, while dreaming of a heaping bowl of honey pie. When they reached the loud, raging waters, their hearts were pounding. But not Stubb's. He loved how the water looked and was sounding. His paws and jaws swiped with strikingly acute precision. His brawn was evident, leaving no room for derision. He wasn't acting at all like the littlest of the bunch. He could wrangle any salmon or giant fish for lunch. The bags were brimming, overflowing with fishes galore. It took all of Mo and Joe to lug it home from the shore. Without skipping a beat, Stubb moved on to the hunt. His brothers now knew he was no longer the runt. With confidence and trust, he sang his song loudly. Each word he did believe and utter so proudly.
Just choose to change your stars. You will surely go far, no matter who you are.
He was fast as the rabbit and slyer than the fox. Enough food was gathered, so they rested on the rocks. Homeward bound they went, merrily and satisfied, wanting to show Mama the food Stubb did provide. Mama saw her cubs appear on the trail, happy each one. For the first time, treated fairly was her littlest son. They all headed to bed, their bellies fully fed. At the rise of the morn, a brand new day was born, as Bo, Joe, Mo, and Chub all had to be with Stubb. Stubb again started to sing his mama's tune, which made the others begin to sing it too.
Just choose to change your stars. You will surely go far, no matter who you are.